2 вересня 1965 року київське «Динамо» зіграло перший у своїй історії єврокубковий поєдинок у Колрейні на стадіоні Шоуграундс. Упродовж 10 років уряд забороняв радянським клубам грати у турнірах під егідою УЄФА. УЄФА надсилала запрошення, але Радянська Федерація або не відповідала, а якщо відповідала, то краще б цього не робила. Натомість провідні клуби, їхні тренери, футболісти хотіли грати із європейськими суперниками. Уболівальники теж чекали на ці протистояння. Тож, зрештою, вирішили зробити експеримент. Вибрали не Кубок чемпіонів, а Кубок володарів кубків. 65-й рік. Фінал Кубка у СРСР тоді відбувся за 2 тижні до старту нового євросезону. Саме тому грати у розіграші Кубка Кубків 65-66 випало переможцю Кубка СРСР 1964 року – київському «Динамо». Колрейн, для якого це теж був єврокубковий дебют, брав участь у турнірі завдяки перемозі у Кубку Північної Ірландії.
Just went mad, really. You know, that was the first big tour. First time they ever won the Irish Cup. And I say, me in particular, I joined the club in 1962, so getting a cup medal after 3 years was brilliant. You know, you had people there playing for 20 years, 25 years, got nothing out of it. So, but Bertie Peacock came in as manager and just changed everything about.
Colreyn started in 1927, as you know. They won 3 trophies prior to 65, but they were not major trophies. The Irish Cup was the big knockout equivalent of the FA Cup in England, and with it came the chance of European football. So 65 was the first time they won that under their new manager, Bertie Peacock.
Берті Пікок став найкращим тренером у історії клубу. Згодом під його керівництвом Колрейн вперше виграв і чемпіонський титул.
He had played for Colreyn as a young boy, then Glentoran for 1 season, and then to Glasgow Celtic. That was 1949. And he then went on to be captain of the Celtic team, and he was brought through a very professional regime. That is what he brought to Colreyn. The previous managers had played lower level football, but he was one who had played at the very highest level. So he brought in a great deal of professionalism, discipline, and he had earned a lot of respect from the players. Getting to the final was amazing. We beat one of the top Belfast teams, so we knew there was a big day ahead. They had been in the final twice before, 1948 and 53, which I wasn't able to see. But 65, the build-up in the town, everyone was excited. Shops closed to allow people to go to the match. Trains, buses. And in those days, you had a fairly good crowd. I think it was over 30,000 compared to maybe a few hundred at Colreyn matches at home. So it was a really big occasion. And it was at the National Stadium at Windsor Park.
Окрім того, що Пікок тренував команду, він ще й сам виходив на поле і був одним із найкращих.
And he was really a different level. And he played on until 1970, when he was into his 40s. But in those days, they played the W formation. 2 fullbacks, 3 halfbacks, 5 forwards. The centre forward, the captain, Ken Halliday, was a very popular player. Scored a lot of goals, good with his head, good with his feet. And we had 2 old-fashioned wingers, outside right and left, Tommy Kinsella and Derek Irwin. They were very speedy, very good ball players, and exciting to watch. And the goalkeeper was regarded as one of the best. He was once known as the penalty king, having saved 13 penalties in 1 season. So Victor Hunter was a really top-class goalkeeper. He got 2 caps for Northern Ireland as a Colreyn player. And not many Irish League players got caps. Usually when they went to England they got a chance. But he got 2 caps and really was a star player.
Попри свої досягнення на полі, футболісти Колрейна все ж не були професіональними гравцями.
Well, we were amateurs because we had filled in maybe a night shift. Now you take me, I worked in Michelin, and not at that time, but after that I worked in Richmond, so you're coming home at, what, 8 o'clock, 7:30, whatever it is in the morning, and your match at 3 o'clock, and you're running, where's the pillow at?
Most of them have a day job, some could be at school or students, so they worked most of the day and then turned up on a Saturday. That match was a 6 o'clock kickoff, so I presume they would probably get a half day off. But that's how tight it was, you know.
Реакція на жереб у Колрейні була логічною для тих часів.
Well, it was the first one anyway, but you know, it'd been nice to have a Scottish team or an English team and not too far to travel, but it probably was the furthest possible. But I mean, I think we looked forward to it. Really a great adventure, and I'm sure the players will say the same.
Про Динамо, звісно, нічого не знали. Тож, як можна було підготуватися до матчу?
The way our manager, Bertie Peacock at that time, prepared one of the preparations, he had 13 of us playing 11 of them, the team that was going to play, just to put pressure on, you know, making it. That was one of the things I remember playing against I was called up to play against our senior side deliberately. And the man you interviewed, Johnny McCurdy there, on that training night, I remember one incident. I went past him and got a cross on, which we were told to do the next time. And that was it. I was absolutely, completely, and I mean, I couldn't train or the game on Saturday, no chance. It hit me in the thighs. If a red card, it wasn't even a red card, it should be. Miscoloured red.
No, you just prepare, it's an ordinary game. Well, as ordinary as can be, really. You know, you maybe say, right, instead of playing a 4-3-3, we'll play 5 across the back and 3 and 2 or whatever. You know, you're trying to keep the score down.
Суперник був настільки невідомим, що навіть назву команди написали на програмці дуже дивно. Чому так сталося?
Even today, I can't understand where that came from, because all we knew was Dynamo Kiev or Kiev Dynamo, and perhaps we spell it differently, but the name on the front, I think maybe a child made that up. It seems to have no connection whatsoever. I can change it.
До речі, побоювання партійного керівництва були не безпідставні. Ще до стартового свистка міг статися дипломатичний скандал.
Before the match, there was a band that played, created the pitch and played and entertained, and they were playing the anthems. Now, I had an uncle in that band who took me to my very first Korean match in 1963, and he told me the big secret, that shortly before the match, a few days before, they discovered they had the wrong anthem. The one they had was from pre-1918, which probably would not have gone down very well. So, red faces, they were very pleased to have somebody pointed out, this is not right. So, I don't think anybody realized this.
Проблему з гімном вирішили, а спілкування з київською делегацією напередодні матчу було дружнім та приємним.
We're talking about 5 miles from here. There are 2 little seaports, 5 miles apart, 5 miles, it's a triangle. And at least one occasion, the players were taken down there to have a walk around the shops and along the beach. And everybody, I mean, the reports in the papers said how well people took to them. They were very friendly. I know, obviously, there was a Cold War and there was a bigger crisis around Cuba and stuff. That was all in the news, you know. But I don't think anybody thought anything of that. We just thought, this is a football team coming over. And as I say, they gave a very good account of themselves. They were friendly. And I said, one of my teachers who acted as interpreter, he found them very friendly and, you know, enjoyed the experience with them. So it was all very positive.
Дуже мало позитиву для господарів було безпосередньо на полі. Динамівці поставилися до гри відповідально, і Андрій Біба відкрив рахунок вже на 14-й хвилині. Також у першому таймі відзначилися Олег Базилевич, Віталій Хмельницький та Віктор Серебряніков.
Their game was based on
going forward all the time, you know, and going at a pace we can. I don't think many boys could, it didn't. We played other teams there, you know, Fiorentina and teams like that there. They would have played, you know, more football, you know. These boys straight. I don't remember now, there was one particular guy who played around the middle of the field there. It wasn't midfield in them days, you know, it was wing halves and inside forwards and all. But I had enough of ball with outside left. He was a flying machine. Just boom, gone. So he kept me entertained.
I might as well have been drinking because you were just standing like that, where are they? They were so much faster, and they were full-time pros, which, all right, we were part-timers. And, you know, it's a different game. Like, I played full-time football in England as well, and going from here, training here, and playing here, you've got a pace, and that's it. But once you move up a bit, you know, it's a different ball game altogether. But it was good when I came back again because I was fitter than the rest of the guys here. But to go from here to play in England or Scotland, wherever you go, full time, it's a big difference.
The previous week, along with two other guys, one was a fella, Eric McManus, who went on to represent the club in Northern Ireland, and the other was a goalkeeper, two goalkeepers actually, and the other goalkeeper became a regular for Colreyn. So he did. So what happened was Bertie Peacock, who was the manager then, signed the three of us, but he said to us, guys, I have a wee job for you for the European game. And he's been young boys, what's this? You know, you would do anything at that stage. So he said, I want you to have seats arranged for you out on the perimeter of the ground, and I want you to take notes and watch how it should be done. And I'll talk to you later on, and it's like a wee exam. So the three of us are sitting, notes taken there, and there are photographs, I think, somewhere at some stage, the three of us sitting, shivering and watching. That's my big memory of that game. I'm not sure I've seen much of the game, I was so busy getting careful notes taken. But he did speak to us afterwards and asked us all the various things, you know, and talk about the movement of the players, you know, and why were they doing this and all that. Was great insight into it.
But there was a fella in the middle of the park, and he was a super player. I can't remember his name. Trying to forget his name.
У другому таймі гості відзначилися ще двічі. Дублі оформили Біба та Серебряніков. Що саме найбільше запам'ятали у Колрейні?
They were so athletic, very fast, very skillful, great shooting. They were just perfect. You know, we had not seen anything like it.
Speed of movement, speed of thought. And a lot of the time it was one touch, two touch football, whereas our guys were just taking that wee shade longer. But you could see they were better coached. You know, I'm not decrying our Korean side, but you could see the professionalism more, if that's the right word for the time. But you could see that it was that bit quicker, that wee bit sharper, and fitness was another thing I noticed.
All I can remember really is the shooting. You know, they could shoot from anywhere, and they were rockets, absolutely. I can't remember individual goals, but I mean, they were so fast. I mean, the guys said they were playing catch up most of the game, but we scored a goal, and the player who scored the goal also scored their first goal away in Europe. But we got 1, you got 6, you probably could have got 10. They were so good.
Слід згадати, що згідно із жеребом перший матч мав відбутися у Києві, але Динамо погодилося спочатку зіграти на полі суперника. У Колрейні розуміли, що поразка з великим рахунком у першому матчі може вплинути на відвідуваність та атмосферу на шоу-граундс. Натомість, навіть попри невдачу на полі, домашній поєдинок став особливим для міста.
I had never seen anything like it, because average matches would have been in the hundreds. There was a special match in '65 at the end of that season. Colreyn had won the Irish Cup. Derry City had won the league, and these were local rivals. And they played a competition every year called the North West Cup. And there were about 9,000 at it because the two teams had their trophies, a big event the same day as FA Cup final day in England, and that was the biggest prior to KF coming over. But the atmosphere that night was amazing. People from all over Northern Ireland would come to that, not just Colrane, and it was just amazing to witness, really enjoyable.
Після 1-6 вдома на Колрейн чекала подорож до Києва, яка залишила чимало яскравих спогадів, і не лише футбольних.
They took us to, during the time they took us to an ice hockey match. Ice hockey was big in Ukraine then, you know, and it was the two best teams in it. And we went in, and as we went in, the crowd just all rose to give us a standing ovation. This was before we had played them. And, you know, I think it's the only ice hockey match I've ever seen. No, I saw them up in Belfast. But it was absolutely brilliant. I never seen an ice hockey match. And none of the rest of the boys had ever seen it, you know. It was the same for everybody, you know, but we were just, it was absolutely, as I say, it was one of the best trips I've ever had. And a few in Europe, you know, we went to different countries, but that's the one I remember most, you know.
But it was lightning. It was the first, I think the last maybe I was at. You know, it's a great game, great crowds at it.
We never flew, you see, but so we loved it, you know. Everything was a sort of another thrill, you know what I mean? Something we'd never done before, you know. And we were all young boys, you know. But I'll tell you one thing: the vodka was strong. There's a few us Ballymoney boys, you know, and we all liked a beer or two, you know. She was strong stuff. I remember when they came over here, we had a reception for them in Portrush, the Royal Counties. Down in Portrush there, a lot of golf, Irish Open, or the British Open there not so long ago. And it was a first class hotel, and we were sitting and we were all drinking pints, you know. And somebody noticed that these boys were all drinking whiskey and vodka. So we says, "What do you see this? These boys will not belong to, they're lying about here." Huh. We were lying about and we were drinking beer. But I'll tell you, when we were over there, we knew all about it. Whiskey, vodka. Ooh. So that was another surprise for us that they could also drink a lot better than we could.
Коли згодом у чвертьфіналі суперником киян став Селтік, президент Колрейна дуже зрадів такому жеребу.
They had some currency left in rubles, and when they asked to get it changed to sterling, it wasn't possible for some reason. So the chairman of Colrane was a very shrewd man. He was a businessman, and lo and behold, then McCurdy drew Glasgow Celtic, and he had good contacts with Glasgow Celtic, and they contacted the chairman. He says, "By the way, we brought some rubles back. We could sell these to you." So he got his money back. So, not to be outdone.
Минуло 56 років. Колрейн зіграв ще 42 матчі у єврокубках. Але Хантер МакКлелланд сподівається, що два заснованих 1927 року білосиніх клуби колись зустрінуться знову.
The top two teams, Linfield and Tarn, they have made most. We are the next, and we're a provincial club and part-time. So we've had a lot of big matches. Our biggest achievement was beating Kilmarnock, knocked them out, and they were a first division team then. But I mean, it would be brilliant if we met Dynamo KF again. Really, it would be out of this world. I certainly would look forward to it. I'm sure anyone in Colrane would too, because they still talk about it.